Okay, so the new Apple VR headset's coming out, or as some people are calling it, this brand new Apple Vision Pro. Like, I don't really know how it's Pro, but at the same time, I mean, they put Pro in front of everything. Like the iPhone 13 Pro, which is just another iPhone, or the iPad Pro, which is just another iPad. Obviously, there's little specs here and there, but when I first saw about this brand new Apple Vision Pro, you already know my mind was thinking of a lot of things. And today I'm going to be talking about how I used the Apple Vision Pro for all the wrong reasons. But before anything, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And on top of that, I am live on Kick streaming, telling crazy stories just like this one. So if you want to see these stories live with my face right on the cover, well, I advise clicking the link down below in the description. But other than that, let's get straight into this insane story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a crazy story. So yes, the Apple Vision Pro is coming out. And I remember when I first heard about this, I thought it was really cool. Now, being a YouTuber has its perks. Like, for example, you get to meet a lot of people in different companies. From, working with Raid Shadow Legends to working with other agencies and working with a bunch of other creators. But I remember one time, I was watching the keynote on basically Apple talking about, their Vision Pro coming out. And I was actually really curious. And don't get me wrong, VR has evolved to extreme lengths. Like, for God's sakes, we're all playing games on VR. We're all using VR to watch movies. Hell, we're going to the stages of 4D, okay? Like, that's how life's really getting to. So me being excited for this, it reminded me of a time from back when I was actually in high school. And actually, I've told the story about where I ended up beating my meat to VR. And honestly, it was actually a really good experience. Other than my mom walking in. If you want to see that story, just click on the screen and it will take you straight to the video. Anyways, going on from there, I remember when I saw this Apple Vision Pro, I was excited because I was thinking, yo, this is a good way of technology. You can start opening windows. It's like having a computer strapped onto your face. And who doesn't want that? So I remember what I ended up doing was I basically was just, going through my emails, answering some sponsors and stuff that want to sponsor some of these cool videos. And then one thing I ended up seeing was that my old friend of mine from back in high school ended up emailing me. They ended up emailing me basically saying, yo, like, it's been a long time, Bubba. I don't know if you remember me. I knew you back in high school. And I kind of remember the guy, and I knew that his family was actually super rich. So him contacting me was actually a really cool experience. What I ended up doing from there was I ended up actually emailing him back saying, hey man, like, how's the family? It's good to see you. It's kind of weird that we ended up communicating through email because most people try to hit me up through Instagram. By the way, follow me on Instagram if you guys haven't already. I just got verified on there recently. I remember I basically ended up emailing him back, basically trying to catch up with him. And one thing led to another. He ended up telling me he had Discord, and I ended up adding him on Discord. And by the way, I'm actually on Discord as well. If you guys want to join the Discord server and tell me your guys' crazy stories, go for it. Just click the link down in the description below. Sorry, back to the story time. So I remember one thing led to another. I ended up adding him on Discord. We ended up going into my Discord server, and I ended up actually talking to him. We ended up hopping into a call together, and he was just telling me about his family and all the amazing achievements, he's done. And he told me one thing that actually kind of blew my mind, and that his dad worked at Apple. Now, obviously, this is where the story gets a little interesting. I remember he told me that his parents worked at Apple, both mom and dad, and that his dad was like a really high position in Apple. I remember he ended up telling me, yo, Bubba, like, did you see like the Apple keynote that just went down? Oh yeah, the one from the other day? Yeah, I saw it. And honestly, I'm really impressed is what I told him. And then he ended up saying, well, bro, like, are you still around the area? Cause like, I could bring you actually a Vision Pro to try to use. Wait, for real? Is what I told him. He ended up saying, yeah, and how like, his dad had an extra one laying around because apparently he needed it for testing the product and stuff. I have no idea, but he basically said that he could bring it over to my place and we could try it out. Now me, I was super excited. Knowing this thing was trending all over the place and knowing how many people want to see other people use this thing was insane. So what I decided to do was tell him, yo, bro, like, if you want, like, is it cool if I make a video on it? He ended up saying it was fine. And honestly, I was planning on posting a video on the Bubba channel about it, but as the story goes on, you will see why it ended up not happening. I remember the next day, he ended up coming over and he ended up, seeing me in person, and it's been a long time. So I shook his hand, obviously, trying to be a nice guy. And in his other hand, I saw a giant briefcase. Now, this briefcase was no like normal briefcase. It was like one of those briefcases that was like silver and really fancy. And I remember when I looked at it, I was like, there is no way there was an Apple Vision Pro in there before release date. Now, reminder, the Apple Vision Pro costs like $3,500. That's a lot of money for a VR headset. Like, I don't even think I can afford it. But if you subscribe to the channel, maybe I'll do a giveaway on one. Who knows? Going on from there, though, I remember I was super excited. We ended up going straight back to my apartment. We ended up sitting down, and we basically ended up, you know, unboxing this thing. When we unboxed it, I saw, like, how the wires worked. I saw, like, the headset, and like how basically it was really high end. Like this thing was really fancy for a VR headset. It's not like any other VR headset I've ever seen. So me seeing this, I got super excited and I told him, how does it work? And he ended up telling me like how like basically like to put it on and he'll just kind of set it up for me. So that's what I ended up doing. I put on the headset. I ended up basically looking, you know, through it. I ended up connecting one of my accounts or iCloud accounts, I think, to the headset, and boom, I realized that my text messages were showing from my phone. I saw like, you know, the screen of like stuff that I was on my MacBook was on there. Like it was really cool. And honestly, the experience was phenomenal. Like I would want one actually if I could afford it. And I told him, bro, like, can I do anything on here? And he said, yeah, you can literally do anything from watching your own videos to answering texts. You can do anything you want, bro. Like think about it as if it's your phone attached to your face. And at that moment, I knew this thing was amazing. But I remember when I was looking inside the VR headset, I started realizing that when I was going through my text messages, one of my sneaky links ended up sending me a photo of her cherries. And I got kind of distracted by that because I could see it in the VR headset. But the person that was with me that brought the VR headset, the homie, ended up basically not knowing what I was looking at. So I remember I ended up looking at that, you know, photo of this girl's cherries from my sneaky link, and I started kind of getting bricked up. Now, when I get bricked up, I gotta do it. Like, I am the master of the Devil's Tango. But one thing you guys need to know about me is that I'm not gay. So obviously, I'm not gonna do the Devil's Tango with the guy that brought me the VR headset. What I ended up doing was I actually ended up basically telling him, yo, like, can I walk around and like still use the headset? He ended up saying yes. So I ended up actually standing up and going to my bedroom and telling him I wanted to try it in different environments. He ended up saying go for it and ended up going on his phone being distracted. And then one thing led to another. I ended up going in my room, laying in my bed, and I ended up hearing him actually answer a phone call. And this guy, when he's on the phone, apparently he's on the phone for a very long time. So I thought this would be the perfect moment for me to basically whip out my eggplant and start beating my meat with the Apple Vision Pro on. Yeah, I'm not proud of it, okay? I know it's embarrassing, but to be fair, my whole life is embarrassing. So I remember I started beating my meat with the Apple Vision Pro on, and honestly, it was really dumb, but at the same time, I mean, hey, I really wanted to test the limits on this thing, so I thought it might not be a bad idea to see how, you know, the Devil's Hub would run on the VR headset. So I remember on the Apple Vision Pro, I ended up searching on the search bar, the Devil's Hub, and ended up going on the Devil's Hub and started basically beating my meat to the Devil's Hub. And as I had the Apple Vision Pro on, yeah, I was using this VR headset for all the wrong reasons. Don't do what I do. And Apple, if you ever want to sponsor one of my videos, I promise I would not do this to your headset. Okay, well, maybe actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. But one thing led to another. As I was about to finish, I remember I ended up hearing my door open, and you can kind of see like through the Apple VR headset. So I ended up basically sliding my pants up as fast as I could, and my friend knew exactly what I was doing because apparently he could hear the moaning noises coming from the video out of the headset. And yeah, he ended up basically telling me to take off the headset and started yelling at me for 10 minutes, put the headset back in its briefcase, and ended up leaving. And he didn't even say goodbye. Yeah, I kind of regretted that decision, but at the same time, hey, at least I got to try the Apple Vision Pro. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, fall for more embarrassing but crazy stories. Peace out, guys.